Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'd like to begin in the name of God, the most merciful and the most beneficial. I want to thank all of you all today for taking time out of your busy Sundays to come and join us and to listen to our experiences. I also want to thank OCCJ for giving us this opportunity to come and speak today. So I'm going to jump right in and speak to you about a few experiences among the many that I've had. Just to give you a little bit of a background of myself, I'm the daughter of Turkish immigrant parents. I was born and raised right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Hillcrest Hospital. And so Turkish was actually my first language. I learned English in kindergarten. And I'm married to a Syrian gentleman who was born and raised in UAE. So our children are mixed, half Turkish, half Arab, right? So that's wonderful. I want to go back to 2011. We had a wonderful ice storm, if you all remember, in 2011. And brilliantly, I decided that, the kids wanted to go hang out at a friend's house. So I decided to drive my husband's truck. And I was sitting in the driver's side. I had my younger son who was sitting in the middle, and then my eldest daughter was sitting in the passenger side, and I had another son in the back seat. So I was at 71st, right at Memorial. I'm in the furthest left lane. I'm getting ready to turn left when the light turns green for me. And I hear this honking coming towards me. And then a car, a big SUV, a Lincoln Navigator to be exact, come and sideswipe me. And I figured, oh, he's honking just because he couldn't stop. There's ice everywhere. So I roll down the window, and our cars at this point are stuck together. I roll down the window, and he rolls down the window, and he is cursing and screaming and yelling. And I'm baffled. And the words that are coming out of his mouth are, you effing terrorist, you this, you that, and your prophet is this, and you're going to hell, and this and that and the other. I mean, what do you say to somebody like that? So I looked, are you insane? Have you lost your mind? There's ice everywhere. There's an ice storm, and you've got nothing better to do than sit and pick on me? Seriously? At this point, this gentleman thinks that he is going to jump into our vehicle since the windows are down. And as he's cursing and spitting, my daughter is getting all this nasty spit in her face. So my daughter picks up the phone, we call 911, and we begin to turn, and he decides he's going to run me off the road as we're turning. It's a double turning lane on 71st going on to Memorial. And as he goes in front of me, I T-boned him in the middle. His car spun out because there's ice everywhere. And I'm talking to 911, and I'm telling them there's this psychopath that has just attacked us, and these are all the racial slurs that he had to say to me, and currently he's in front of me, and this is the experience that we're having. My children are screaming, they're crying, they're petrified in the car. And so the 911 operator tells me to pull into a parking lot while he dispatches officers. So I try to pull into the parking lot where Chuck E. Cheese is, over there on 71st. Of course, everybody's smiling when I say Chuck E. Cheese. And he follows me into the parking lot. So I tell him he's following me, what am I supposed to do? He said, get back on the main road and try to see if you find a police officer as I dispatch some more officers your way. So at this point, we're both going down Memorial, and we're approaching 81st. He gets out of his vehicle as I stop at 81st, and he comes to my car, and he's trying to get into my driver's side. So as I still got the phone in one hand, talking to the 911 operator, I'm reaching under my seat to try and find a crowbar or something to smash his head in. And my kids are screaming, crying, and my daughter says, Mom, there's a cop. And he's over on 81st, right in that area. And so I was lucky enough to be able to go 4x4 and go over the curb and go to the police officer and flag him down. And the 911 officer says, go flag him down and tell him what's going on while I dispatch some more officers. So I flagged him down. He was in full uniform. He was in a fully marked police car. And I said, sir, I need your help. He says, what do you want? I said, there's a car right there. He hit the side of my vehicle. He's been following us. He had all these racial slurs to say. He tried to get into my vehicle. My kids are clearly upset, screaming and crying in the car. And he looks at me and says, I don't work on this side of town. So I just told the 911 dispatcher, I said, this officer is telling me he doesn't work on this side of town. He goes, who are you talking to? 911. Oh. Well, I'll wait here until some more officers get here. I said, so you're not gonna go talk to the guy? You're not gonna go arrest him? You're not gonna stop him? Nothing? He goes over and he brings the guy into the parking lot. 2 more vehicles show up with 4 more officers. They go and speak with him. Then they come speak with me. So I'm relieved that more officers are on the scene, and the 911 operator says, okay, are there more vehicles there? Yes, they are. Okay, thank you very much. So I hang up the phone with 911. The officers come to me and say, ma'am, what's going on? So I explained to them what's going on, and I said, okay, so you guys are gonna arrest him now? What's the process that I have to go through? You know, do I have to fill out a report? What do I need to do? And they look at me and they say, it's his word against yours. Well, I have children who were crying and screaming in the car. I had a teenager who he was spitting on as he was cursing at in the vehicle. The officers tell me that it's his word against mine. At this point, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I said, are you flipping kidding me? Look at the side of the vehicle. Look at my children. Go listen to the 911 call. You're gonna tell me it's his word against mine? What's to keep the psychopath from following me home? Ma'am, we'll keep him here for a few minutes. Go on. Seriously? Are you kidding me? I so appreciate my tax dollars working right now and protecting me. Thank you so much. You guys have done an outstanding job. Thank you. What do you say to somebody? I was naive at the time. I didn't know that I could file a report. I didn't know that I could make a big deal out of it at the time. Since I've been working with the Islamic Society of Tulsa, we have this wonderful relationship with the Tulsa Police Department and some other law enforcement agencies. And now they use that actually as a training scenario with other officers. And now I know better, that I can actually do something when police officers tell me that there's nothing they can do. So as I told you, I was born and raised here. I didn't always used to cover. I was always a Muslim, but I didn't always used to cover. A lot of people have this misconception that Muslims are forced to cover by their husbands or their fathers. It's a choice. Whenever you choose to be more devout, that's when you cover. So in 2004, I started covering. But prior to that, I had never really experienced, any hate, because I really didn't look different. I was the same brunette, went to Union, went to TCC, I really didn't experience it. After 9/11 happened, my mother was covered at the time. She went to Sam's, and my father was in the parking lot waiting for her. Some big burly idiot came and slammed her to the floor at Sam's, told her she was a terrorist and that she needed to get out of this country, and a bunch of other expletives along with it. My mom was petrified. She came home, and she refused to leave the house for 3 months. At this time, when 9/11 happened, we were condemning left and right. We had Red Cross constantly donating blood, anything we could do. But law enforcement, retired military, they came to us, neighbors came to us and said, you know what, we'll protect you. If you need to go anywhere, we'll take you. One of my husband's managers, he is a senior analyst at HP, came by and had a handwritten note for him, telling him that if we felt unsafe in our home, that we're more than welcome to be in his home, and that he'd protect us and cart our kids to school and things like that. So these are just a few of the experiences. And when Jordan was up here talking about people, under the assumption of us not knowing English, it reminds me of a fun experience I had at the grocery store. So the cashier is checking the lady out in front of me, being really nice. Then it's my turn, and I get up there, and I put my things down, and I have my daughter with me. And it's her job to greet me, right? She's the cashier. And So she didn't greet me, so I just sat there, you know. She's just staring at me as she's moving the things along, moving the items along, scanning them. Then she looks at me and she goes, "Do you want paper or plastic?" So this gentleman standing behind me just busts out laughing, right? And my daughter goes, "Mom, what's wrong with this lady?" And I said, "It's okay. I think she's a little slow. I can do it. Don't worry. I can do it." She was so angry. I loved it. It was priceless, right? And just like Jordan said, when you see things on the news, like San Bernardino, like Paris, immediately, all of us, the 1.6 billion Muslims, are all terrorists. We're all murderers, right? ISIS, the numbers they give us on ISIS, 200, 250,000 ISIS members. Let's do the math. Everybody pull out your cell phones. 1.6 billion divided by 250,000. That doesn't even give you a percent, right? Just for a handful of cuckoos who have hijacked my religion, my peaceful religion, we are all blanketed and we're all terrorists, right? So what I am here to ask you is, let's work together. Let's talk together. Let's get to know one another. At the Islamic Society of Tulsa, our doors are always open. Every week, we have at least 4 to 5 groups that come in through that always call for tours. They want to come have discussions. After here, I'll be going to All Souls. We have a youth event going on. We've always constantly got something going on. God created us into tribes so that we may love one another and work with one another. A lot of people believe that it's a part of our religion to kill everybody. One of my favorite scriptures that I like to quote is, "One who has taken the life of one person, it's as if he has killed all of humanity. And one that has saved the life of a person, it's as if he has saved all of humanity." I can't even harm an ant. An ant, I'm even judged for harming an ant. How am I supposed to strap a bomb to my body and go blow up a bunch of innocent people and kill myself? Does that make any kind of sense? I don't believe that God created all of us and just chose a couple of people, a small group of people, to be the chosen people and is going to forsake all of the rest of humanity. I don't buy that. I do not buy that. And when we have presidential candidates that are just spewing hate, I will tell you, I liaise with law enforcement, and the numbers that I've heard since New Year's Eve, we've had over 75 hate crimes. Over 75 hate crimes already, and we're just in February, okay? We've never had this much hate, even during 9/11. We haven't experienced this much hate. So I implore you all, just go and talk to somebody. Just like Jordan said, approach me, talk to me. We'd be happy to discuss anything with you. We are some of the most hospitable people. We will shove food down your throat like nobody's business, I promise you. Several people who were in there know, right? Thanksgiving, right? Now here we go. I've got people waving, that's all right. We love to feed you. Please, just come and talk to us. You're all welcome anytime. Thank you so very much.